Nick changed our Google Home voice to John Legend. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Why did the man name his dogs Rolex and Timex? Because they were watchdogs.
Hello! It is a lovely, warm spring day outside.
Today, it'll be sunny with a forecasted high of 69.
So you know what that means. We will be holed up inside my house, sewing. It is time for the next episode of But Make It Vintage. Or if you like, But Naked Vintage. It's been a while. It's been since October, I think. It has actually been a year since the first episode came out. Figured it would be quite fitting to do another comic book character, Harley Quinn. Before we conveniently transition into the next segment of the video, we do have a sponsor for today. It is Native Deodorant. But I will talk more about that later. I figured it would be kind of fun to do a very similar process as the first episode. And what I did for that episode was I used art from my favorite artist ever, Savannah Alexandra, who I like to think is a friend now. Used her concept art for kind of a 1930s Gotham. Also included in that post was a 1930s Harley Quinn. A majority of this design comes from that. But in addition to that illustration, I have done a little bit of research on Harley Quinn jester inspired costumes from 1930s, 1940s, 1920s. I finally came across this image right here. I think what I want to do is combine the two. It's bright in here. Oh. I'm at the thrift store. As with a lot of my projects, nowadays I try to use as much recycled material as I can. I'm mainly going to look for bed sheets. They are usually made out of a more cotton material and easier to work with. Wish me luck. That was really easy. I ended up getting, oh, ow, ow, black, ow. Super staticky black bed sheet for $4. I actually gave myself the worst electric shock I've ever given myself. Stung right here and it literally made me go, ow! I also got these bed sheets for no particular reason other than I like to hoard fun looking materials in the hopes that someday I will make it into something. Now I'm heading to Joann's so I can look at pom-poms. Let's go. Some pom-poms. This sort of interfacing, I guess you could call it, but I will make the Shakespearean collar with this starchy, nice and thick. Oh, staticky. Is it me? Big old sheet of EVA foam. A pattern about different sleeves. Probably use this specific sleeve for this project. So that is all I got. I am going to go get myself some Wendy's because I can smell it on Mama like. See ya. As far as the design for this, I have already gone and drawn out a little example of how I want to mishmash these two inspiration sources. For the coloring of this project, I am definitely going to follow Savannah Alexandra's version of Harley. Instead of having a pattern fabric already, I think what I want to do is make a stamp out of foam. So that way I can paint on this and transfer it onto the fabric before I start sewing. A nice sort of Harlequin pattern here. And the hat I will make out of foam, same with the face mask. That is the overall design. As usual, I am quite nervous. I get especially nervous when it comes to draping projects just because I feel like with patterns you have sort of that added security of it can't go horribly wrong, but I feel like with draping, oh yes. Yes, it can. In the spirit of my videos, we're just gonna go ahead and give it a try. Let's get crafty. Sorry. I think my problem with this project is I don't exactly know how to start. I think I'm gonna do the pants as their own thing and then maybe make like an elastic waistband and attach it to the top, which I will also do separately. I think that'll help me kind of compartmentalize this in my brain because I have a tendency of getting a little overwhelmed when I don't have a plan, is most of the time. And I may be wrong on this, but I think what I'm gonna do is look at the pattern for this one. And then I think that'll help me design the pants, because the pants are just gonna be big sleeves for my legs. I think I've got the general idea down. We're learning. We are learning. We're learning. For the pants, I actually decided to rip apart an old pair and just use that as a pattern, extending the leg into a more exaggerated bell-bottom shape following the pattern of the sleeve. And because of that bell-bottom shape, when you gather all the material at the bottom, it creates that sort of bubble shape. Graceful. I tried on the pants. They are pinned together. This pant is not gathered at the bottom. Right now they are just some groovy ass bell bottoms. I am very glad that I used template of an existing pair of pants, because otherwise I don't think I would have had any idea how to start constructing this. So that took a lot of stress out. Oh no, I lost a pin. Please don't show my underwear. So now I am going to go a little bit backwards and you're probably gonna yell at me. But I'm gonna take these apart, iron them, and then I think I'm going to do the hexagonal little shapes. Little babies. So yeah, moving on up. For the stenciling, I started off with mixing acrylic paint and fabric medium to make sure that it would stay flexible and not crack. So, as you can see, I have done the stencil work for all of the pant legs. It's pretty messy, obviously, but I kind of like that because it reminds me of like the newer versions of Harley. If you can see, it has pattern of the cardboard because I was pressing down, which I think is pretty cool looking. Oh God. It looks like someone got murdered in my house. It was Frodo in the living room with the ruler. For the top, I also used an old shirt that I tore apart and used for a base pattern. Day 2. Yesterday I finished up all the painting for the pants, and now basically those just have to be sewn. Also started putting together the base of the blouse. Probably sew together the pieces of the blouse and then get started on the sleeves. Somehow amidst during all that I need to paint that fabric as well. But yeah, let's continue on. The sleeves I marked and measured where I wanted all those little red lines to go and then painted as carefully as I could. So now it is time for the ruffles. To be quite honest, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I quickly looked up examples online and what other people did, and then promptly disregarded that and did my own thing. So basically what I did was cut out a long strip of this interfacing material, pleated it, I guess. Basically just folded it in on itself a bunch of times so it kind of makes this accordion thing, and then sewed just to kind of join them all together. And then so, ideally, it will go on the sleeve like that, which is kind of cool looking, but also you can sort of see in it. So now I have the neck version folded in on itself. We'll sew it over here so that the collar does this thing. Yeah? Here is the collar. I feel like two things. Number one, Simba declaring his excitement to be king. And number two, that spinning dinosaur from Jurassic Park. The hat was made by making a simple cone shape onto foam, cutting out, gluing, and painting. For that crazy curly 1930s hair, I steam curled the wig. I have a video on this, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically you roll the hair up into rollers, steam it, and let it sit.
Later.
And then you wet out the rollers and brush. It is now the final day of this project. I'm sure all of you will be very shocked to know that I did not give myself enough time for this project. The past 2 days have been very stressful. As evidence of that, a couple days ago Nick decided to make a chocolate cake. And I kid you not, the ferocity in which I have been going at that thing in its Tupperware with a fork. Very reminiscent of that one scene from Matilda. It's not my finest moment. But the costume is done, and now we just have to do the makeup and the hair. Before we do that, let's talk about armpits. Today's video is sponsored by Native. I'll be completely honest, I don't have a clever segue for this. Quite simply, it's just a product that I love and use constantly every day. So specifically for this video, Native is a deodorant, a natural deodorant, aluminum-free, paraben and sulfate-free, vegan and cruelty-free. It's pretty hard to find a natural deodorant that actually works. I only have to apply once a day, which with other natural deodorants, I was finding myself touching up throughout the day because it just plainly did not stay because I am very sweaty. But I've been using Native for almost a year now. They come in very fun scents. So this time I got vanilla and chai, blackberry and plum, and a dozen roses. It's its own perfume. And you know, if I'm ever at the grocery store and I'm like reaching for something, the person next to me is just like... So that is Native deodorant. You can save 33% off of your first deodorant pack if you go to the link below and use my code. Thank you so much, Native, for sponsoring this video. Let's go do some makeup. Okay, I am going to start on the makeup. I'm gonna go through this pretty quick just because it's pretty dang simple. Paint my face white. Basically just gonna follow the makeup scheme from Savannah Alexandra's illustration. Kind of cutesy red eyeshadow. Might make it a little messy and a little 1930s. The mask, little hexagonal shapes right here. And let's get to it. Let's get started with this makeup. A horrible Harley Quinn impression. Will not be the last of those. For the makeup, I started off with a white water-activated paint. Then I touched it up with a more opaque cream paint to cover any blotches. I purposely went a bit messy with the eyeshadow to give off that fresh from robbing a Gotham bank vibe. Then I used the same red eyeshadow from earlier as blush, making sure to hit the cheeks, the nose, above the lips. After applying the lipstick, I went in and made the Cupid's bow extra sharp with a small brush. And then pondered if putting on my lipstick before getting dressed was a smart idea. complete. Oh man, I need a nap.
Mr. J, I need a nap real bad.
Just a short little wrap up. Lots of new techniques that I've never done before in this, and I think that shows. But to be quite honest, the day I do a project that is not riddled with flaws, then you should probably be concerned. It's a lot of fun to wear. You know, it's just science that villains are a lot more fun to dress up as. I don't know, obviously there are a few things that I would fix up before wearing this anywhere. But overall, I'm very happy with it. This was a lot of fun, even though I wanted to die. Again, make sure you go, sorry, my mask is falling off. Make sure you go check out Savannah Alexandra Art because she is a goddess and constantly pumping out inspiration from that beautiful brain of hers. I hope this was fun to watch. I tried to make it a little bit snappier than my other sewing videos, so let me know if you like this kind of format and kind of the flow of everything. I am going to go edit this all. Oh, if you're afraid of clowns, I am so sorry. But I also don't think that you'd still be here if that were the case, because I'm scary. That is it. I love you guys whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every Friday and we have fun here. My dinosaur impression.
And I will see you.
Nope, not doing that. In my next video. Bye! So we are back. No. But I will talk about more. I look crazy to these people walking past my car. Shut up. I have a can of not finished seltzer in my door. So every time I close it, it sounds like the sound that the Heartless make from Kingdom Hearts. Just zoom in without making my pants fall down. Oh no.
Who the shit is on her, the weight of the world is on her shoulders, and she.
Garbage. They are giving you guys an offer where you can save 33%. Blah, blah, blah.
Mr. J, what if I talked like Harley all the time? That would be just great. I need more chocolate cake.